Welcome to the book side of YouTube, but for people who want to make money, and more specifically for property managers and landlords. If y'all haven't read these 25 books, you're definitely missing out. I've got 25 book recommendations for you. All of them will be linked in the description on Amazon. I'm gonna break it up into a couple different categories, starting with books for new landlords and investors. My first book is by Robert T. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money That the Poor and Middle Class Do Not. I am sure you've heard of this book by now, but have you actually read it? This book is excellent for changing the way you think about money and investing. It's a must-read for everyone, which is why it is the first book on this list. Second is by Lice R. Glink. It's called 100 Questions Every First-Time Home Buyer Should Ask, with answers from top brokers from around the country. When buying your first house, this book is gold. There are so many questions I would have never asked if it had not been for this book. In fact, here at DoorLoop, we loved it so much we even created our own checklist and questionnaire when seeing a new residential property you might want to purchase. I'll link it down below, but I would still recommend reading the book. And third for this category is by Eric Tyson and Ray Brown, Home Buying Kit for Dummies. This is a monster of a book with 432 pages filled with every single thing you will ever need to know for buying a home. It mostly revolves around financing and negotiating an outstanding mortgage and purchase price. Still, there are tons of tips for any home buyer or investor. The next category is books for all property managers. So whether you're a newbie or a seasoned property manager, these 3 books will help you grow your business, build repeatable processes and procedures, and make more money. The first book on this list is by Nolo, called Every Landlord's Guide to Managing Property. Nolo is known for high quality books, and this one's definitely no exception. Usually I'll recommend this book for smaller landlords who have under 10 units, doing this maybe part-time or as a side hustle, but others may still learn a thing or two. Next up is a book by David M. Green called Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, Repeat: The BRRRR Rental Property Investment Strategy Made Simple. This is one of the top 3 sellers on Amazon at the moment, and for good reason. This is a great way to buy properties, renovate them, rent them out, get your money out, and earn passive income, which is known as the BRRRR method. Next up for this category is by Jeffrey C. May and Connie L. May, The Mold Survival Guide for Your Home and for Your Health. If you've had mold in any home or rental unit, buy this book. You'll learn everything you need to know about mold. It includes different types of mold, how to prevent mold, and how to remove it. If you want to remove that musty odor and mold smell, I would actually recommend purchasing an ozone generator. I'd suggest one by Enerzen on Amazon. Just make sure no one or no animal is on the property when you use it. Also make sure no one comes into that property for 1 hour after. My next topic is BiggerPockets Rental Kit Series. If you're in the real estate industry, chances are you have heard of BiggerPockets. Maybe you read their website, subscribed to their podcast, or watched them on YouTube. Either way, they have some of the best content in the industry. They have a 3-part book series teaching you how to invest in real estate, from purchasing your first property to managing your entire portfolio. If you're looking for a full A to Z guide, these 3 books are for you. First one is Investing in Real Estate with No and Low Money Down, Creative Strategies for Investing in Real Estate Using Other People's Money. The second book is Rental Property Investing, How to Create Wealth with Intelligent Buy and Hold Real Estate Investing. And the third one is Managing Rental Properties, Find, Screen, and Manage Tenants with Fewer Headaches and Maximum Profits. Next category is sales books. Selling is one of the critical parts of the real estate process. Many people get a bad taste in their mouth when you say the word sales, but in reality, you're selling a lot with real estate. You're selling every time you negotiate with your bank for a mortgage or refinancing, negotiate the rent in terms of the leasing agreement and renewals with your tenant, negotiating with vendors and subcontractors for renovations, maintenance, repairs, or work orders, and selling an investment to a buyer. So you see, you already are selling more than you realize. And these are 5 influential books that can help you tremendously. First is by Jeffrey H. Gatomer, Little Red Book of Selling, 12.5 Principles of Sales and Greatness. We regularly recommend this book for the general generic sales advice every beginner landlord or property manager should master. So if you're new to sales, start with this book. Second is by Jeff Fox, called How to Become a Rainmaker. This is second on the list because it's super small and easy to read book full of practical advice and zero fluff. Jeff Fox is straight to the point and teaches you everything he's learned in his long sales career, from things to do to mistakes to avoid. You can even probably finish this book in like under an hour. The third book in this category is by Chris Voss and Tal Raz. Never Split the Difference, Negotiate as if your life depended on it. One of our all-time favorite books ever read from former FBI hostage negotiator, Chris Voss. He runs you through life and death hostage situations where he got the hostage out alive. He then shows you how to apply those same tactics in business negotiation. Based on this book, we at DoorLoop even created a little sales negotiation checklist that you can run through anytime you're about to go through a big negotiation. I'll go ahead and link that down below, but I definitely still recommend reading the book. This list is just a sample of what that book can provide. Next on the list is a book by Jeb Blount called Objections, the Ultimate Guide for Mastering the Art and Science of Getting Past No. It teaches you the art of dealing with objections and rejections, coming up with a game plan, asking for what you want, and identifying hot leads versus time wasters. So obviously a very valuable book. Then I have a book by Dan S. Kennedy and Sean Buck called No BS Guide to Maximum Referrals and Customer Retention. Dan Kennedy is a sales legend, and if you don't know him, look up his other books. This book gives you an idea for keeping tenants longer, reducing turnover, and getting them to refer you to their friends. All really great things, right? So now moving on to our next category, which is marketing books. Starting with a book by David Newman called Do It Marketing, 77 Instant Action Ideas to Boost Sales, Maximize Profits, and Crush Your Competition. This book fills you with so many highlights and ideas that it can transform your business. I love that the author gives you a ton of space to write notes and go through workshops inside the book. So landlords, get your pens out when you're reading this one. Next book is by Jason Fried, Rework, a Better, Faster, Easier Way to Succeed in Business. Jason Fried is the founder of 37 Signals and one of the most popular project management programs named Basecamp. He gives tons of business advice from growing his company from zero to hundreds of millions in revenue. It's more of a generic business book, but it's still useful for property management. Next book is by Robert Blythe, The Copywriter's Handbook, a step-by-step guide to writing copy that sells. Copywriting is one of those skills that you only improve on with practice. As a property manager, it'll help you write compelling listings online, adding lease clauses to your lease agreements, or drafting emails to send to your tenants. Then we have a book by David Bitton, The Secret to Marketing and Automating Your Law Practice. This list would not be complete if I didn't include this book because David Bitton is actually the CMO here at DoorLoop. Although he did write it for the legal industry, most of the tips still apply to real estate rental business. You will learn how to create systems, get more clients, and advertise your business online. Another important topic of books I have is customer service. So here's two great books for that. The first book is by Ken Blanchard and Sheldon Bowles, Raving Fans, A Revolutionary Approach to Customer Service. This book is so crucial that at DoorLoop, we make every new team member read the book. It'll teach you how to deliver the most incredible service your client has ever seen, making them a raving fan. Next up is a book by Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh. Tony was the CEO of Zappos and pioneered the first e-commerce site with free online returns. The book is about delivering happiness across your entire property management business from your team to your tenants. If everyone is happy, your profits skyrocket. Next category, I have two great books about management and leadership. Another book by Ken Blanchard, The 1 Minute Manager Meets the Monkey. This book is so important that every manager in our company gets a crash course on it. It's a super easy and fast read, and I highly recommend giving a copy to every employee in your company. Do you have a problem with employees asking you for help with every single question when you know they can do it themselves? And isn't it funny how when you're not available, they miraculously do figure it out themselves? Well, this book will teach everyone to work more independently without asking you for help 100 times a day. The second book is by Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. Former Navy SEAL Commander Jocko Willink takes you through his time as a Navy SEAL with personal stories of his battles. These stories will make you sweat and keep you reading until the very end. He applies the life principles he's learned on leadership and decision making from the battlefield to the boardroom. And last but certainly not least are time management books. The first book is by David Allen and James Follows, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. There are so many ideas from this book that can be used daily, including dumping your thoughts onto a notepad, scheduling blocks of time on your calendar, and prioritizing your tasks with the ABC method. So if you need help with any of that, this is the book for you. Next is a book by 99U and Jocelyn K. Glee, Manage Your Day-to-Day, Build Your Routine, Find Your Focus, and Sharpen Your Creative Mind. This is a great book from the creative team at Behance. Learn to be hyper-focused on the most important task and build great habits and routines. And the last book I have for you is by Kevin Cruz called The 15 Secrets Successful People Know About Time Management. This is a short read that gives practical advice on time management without all the fluff of the other books. So there you have it. There's 25 books I would recommend as a property manager or a landlord. If you have any other book recommendations, I would love to know what they are, so comment them down below and how it impacted your life and your business. I hope this list helped you, and if it did, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more property management and landlord content. And I'll see you in the next one.